District 6. All right. Dinner is ready. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Guys, let's just pray that technology on our side here, guest, doesn't fail us. He is coming. He is still on the road. So we're just gonna wait 5 minutes and then see if he can request. So hi guys, how's your Sunday? What to do? Yo, guys, straight to the point. This is not the type of program. So now we've got a set program namhlanje. We're only discussing. We've got a guest, and then after the guest has spoken, I will open the floor for everyone to request, ask questions, or if there's anyone who wants to make contributions, they can make contributions. You know, if you want to correct something, if you want to whatever, the floor is going to be yours. So I welcome you guys. Welcome you on this live. I'm going to try to have more lives, maybe more than once a month. So how do you respond to nda? Is it ndima degwana because it's at night? Is it ndima degwana? Hey guys, so Zanele, I'm good. Zanele, I am good. How are you? Nonza, hi. Hi to me. How's everyone doing? Sundays are normally at jazz Sundays, so I'm in a jazz mood. Excuse me, I'm just recovering from flu. Okay, let me just check my guest. Hi Irene, I see Irene is on the live. Hi Dumza. Hope you're good. Speed after. Hi Dumza. Hey Irene, how are you? Good evening. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Sabelo. You're welcome. I do try. Definitely. We'll wait. I think we'll wait for like 10 more minutes because our guest said he is driving. So he's picking up his son. So he just asked for 5-10 minutes. And then we can start. Hi Ayanda. Hi Ayanda. Nice to see you again. We had a nice session on Friday, sorry. We had a very lovely session on Friday. What is wrong with my network now? What is wrong? Am I breaking? What's happening? Am I not clear? Is there something wrong with my network? Can you guys hear me, or like is there any issues? All clear. Okay. I Norms, I think the problem is on your side. Maybe check, maybe refresh your phone or refresh your router. We still have time. Let me just check on him. Okay. I refresh. The problem is on your side. Other people's hearing me clearly. Is my sound fine? Can you? Should I be louder or? Let me just get some tissues. All right, let's see. Okay, I'll just call him back shortly. Maybe do you have load shedding on your side? Maybe that could be part of that. Oh, okay, guys, ndiyanazi ke ngojonga izinto. Yo, yo, the way nithanda unotice izinto ezinganifuniyo. No, thanda indaba. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, there you go. I've just sent him an invite. He is here. Oh.
Live.
Hello, but
Buddy, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I am very well.
Yeah. How far are you from How far are you from to get to home?
I'm about 10 minutes away, but it's safe for us to converse, so we can get started, and then when I get to the house, I'll then organize myself.
You're not breaking any rules. You're not breaking any rules.
I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not breaking any rules.
That's
Nice and safe.
perfect. Yeah. So just shortly introduce.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the invite. My name is Siphumelele Mkhize, based in Johannesburg. Grew up in KZN, but based in Joburg, and I've been for the past couple of years. And I've had the misfortune of losing someone very, very close and someone very, very dear to me. The lady with whom I shared a 16 now to be 17-year-old amazing son, Untando. Very, very tragic experience indeed. She was diagnosed with breast cancer about 4 years ago now. And when she was diagnosed, though we were no longer together, she then gave me a call because we co-parented very, very well. She gave me a call and request and advised me of the diagnosis, and I committed to be a part of the journey. Because unfortunately it was a one-way street. When the diagnosis was issued, there was no turning back. So for us, we had to make sure that we make the best of the time that we had left, and secondly, we had to make sure that we extend her life as much as we could in terms of the medical attention that we received in terms of, just making sure that her life was stress-free as well. So it became a journey, a very, very intentional journey that was filled with love, that was filled with a lot of support and a lot of care. We knew exactly where the diagnosis would lead to, which made the whole thing very, very, very unpleasant. I mean, for me, it was the first time, I think like many other people, being exposed to such a situation where you know that each and every day counts, and it's a countdown. But one had to brave the journey to a point where I kicked into what I call autopilot. Autopilot, where the focus was on doing what needed to be done, whether it was taking care of the kids. At the time that Umami, as we affectionately called her, was no longer able to take care of the kids, or sometimes, I just needed her to just stay home and be comfortable. And at the time when she received the diagnosis, she was based in Durban. But as time went on, we realized that her functionality was becoming more and more limited. We then agreed that her and Dando would then relocate to Joburg, a stone throw away from my house. That would assist with Ndando getting used to spending more time with his father, and also just spending time with his other siblings as well. But also in terms of the schooling logistics, it was very convenient for Ndando to be this side, because he then joined the school that his other siblings went to here in Kyalami. So in terms of transporting them back and forth, it was comfortable, it was convenient. But also in terms of taking Umami for treatment, it worked quite well. Now, like I said, we were intentional about the journey. Intentional in a sense that we wanted to make sure that the support is there, the love is there, the care is there, and also the planning is there, which was the unpleasant, the most unpleasant part of it. Beginning to plan what's gonna happen when her time comes. It hit me hard. It hit me hard when she said to me, "Hey, Daddy, we need to start talking about planning things, because obviously there's going to be some change and it's not going to be nice, but we need to talk about these things very openly. We need to start planning about my funeral." I wept like a baby. At 50 years, I wept like a baby, but I knew that it's something that I needed to assist her with.
Are you married?
We did the planning.
Are you married?
No, I'm not. At the time this happened, like I said, we've always co-parented well, though we were no longer in a relationship. I was seeing somebody else at the time. And this other person was a doctor, a gynecologist. So what I did was I explained the situation to her to say, "Hey, Umami was diagnosed with breast cancer, and this is the situation, and she has requested that I become part of the journey." And we understood each other. So the three of us became like the three musketeers in this journey.
And then where was her family? Where was her family?
Well, unfortunately, her family perished literally back in 2013. It was in 2013 May. Her mother passed in June. Her brother passed in July. The wife to the brother passed. And in August, the father passed. So in a space of 4 months, the family perished completely. So she requested that I assisted her because she literally had no one. Yes, she had cousins, but they were not very close with the cousins. So for me, there was no ways I could have said, hey, Lalela Pela, we're no longer in a relationship. I can't. I'm in a relationship. Uzothini umuntu wami. But for me, I decided I'll need to sit down with my then girlfriend and explain the situation to her, which fortunately she understood. And being a doctor, she was very helpful in many ways. So that is how committed I was to the journey, understanding that she literally had no one to support her, and some of these things are very, very personal, very sensitive, that she could not discuss with anyone but someone that she trusted. So I became that person that she chose to walk the journey with. Now, as time went on, and obviously we started with chemo, I would drive her to the hospital, to the doctor, to her oncologist, and it worked quite well, in a sense that, you know, I also needed to make sure Nami Oguti, I taught myself and understand this dreadful disease, and sort of made friends with it, because there was no ways that I could have been of assistance to her without full comprehension to every breast cancer. So I made sure I familiarize myself with the dynamics of the illness, and really familiarize myself with the treatment, and really engage the doctors so that I could understand how best I could support Umami through the journey. One of the things that we did was to hide this from the kids for the longest of time. And the reason being, you know, kids today, the minute you tell them of an illness, they will go Google. They will go Google. So we needed to manage that by not disclosing the details of Mommy's illness at the time. But they could see that Mommy was not well, and she had to stop working. She was, you know, she had done very well in terms of her career, extremely well. As an executive in one of the biggest sugar manufacturing companies in the country. Okay, I've just arrived home, so I think I'm going to be a lot more stable now. So she had done extremely well. So she was a very stable, solid person, with good resources, and loved her life, loved her kids, which was her biological son Untando, as well as my other kids, because I've got other kids. So what then happened was, as her life was deteriorating, I then said to Umami, Mami, I think it's pointless of you to live in one house and I live in one house. Let's try and let me, rather, if it means, you know, I spend more time at your house, let's rather do that, because obviously things were getting worse and worse, and the chemo was making things very, very difficult for her. So I made sure that I spend as much time as I could with her. Fortunately, I'm self-employed, so I've got flexibility of time. So I could restructure my meetings, my engagements, and my work schedule such that I optimize the time that I spend with her, especially on days where I needed to take her for chemo, but also when on I mean, I knew that the mornings, the early mornings, as well as the evenings were particularly tough for her. So it required that I be there. You are there because you needed to comfort her. The pain was particularly unbearable for her. And there's nothing that we could do. Yes, we had treatment, we had medication, but when this thing hits you, it hits you so hard. You just have to brave it. So the journey was such that I needed to be her support structure.
And then at this time now, when she moves in with you, where is the current girlfriend and the other child? Is that also your son, your child?
Well, the current girlfriend, she was living at her house, but now she would spend time with us.
There was a relationship also
Yeah,
with her.
yeah. We worked very, very well together. She was very much a part of the support structure, an integral part of the support structure, which was super, super amazing and a true blessing, in a sense that I I got her support. I got her full support. But what then happened, the chemo worked, she got better to a point where she went back to work, which was amazing. She went back to work, but she was based here in Joburg now, so she got a job with a Joburg-based company, but still a very high-profile executive position. So she did very well. Unfortunately, 6 months into her new job, this thing came back. And it came back very, very aggressively this time around. Very, very, very aggressively. And yeah, things got hectic. Yabona, nothing is as painful as seeing someone in pain, and all you can do is just watch them and pray and cry with them. And you knew exactly where it was all leading to. She stopped working. She focused on treatment, and we knew we were just buying time. And I remember she then said to me about a year before she passed, she said, "No, look, we need to revisit the funeral arrangements. Let's look at the speakers. Let's look at the venue. Okay, so and so is going to be the pastor or the priest, and these will be the speakers, and all those sort of things." And for me, it was still very, very traumatic, man. It was, I mean, someone that you love and you care for so much. You are sitting with her and planning her funeral with her.
Sure.
So it was quite heavy, but we, one needed to focus on what needed to be done at the time, and to make sure that her wishes were fulfilled. Then it came a point where I needed to disclose the details of the sickness to the kids. It was a tough one, but I also needed to tell them that, look, mommy is not going to be okay. It's just a matter of time. Mommy is going. And it was not easy, because I mean it affected their schoolwork, it affected their demeanor in general, their self-esteem, everything. And for me, what was also very traumatic was it got to a point where mommy could no longer hold food down. And so whatever she would try to eat, she would throw out. And it was some very unpleasant sight, and so I needed to make sure we bought some bowls for her to throw up into, It was blood. It was, you know, some stuff that I could not explain. And there was nothing I could do to make the situation better. Um, and obviously sometimes the kids would come and assist, and I would ask them to go throw the other bowls and clean them up and bring them in, because it was just me and mommy and the kids. And yeah, things got worse. She asked me to record some of the moments, which I did. But yeah, no, nami I could feel, you know, the whole thing was taking a toll on me. But then on this fateful day, woke up in the morning. She could not sleep. I think for the last 2 months before she passed, she could not sleep anymore. She just could not sleep. And consequently, I could not sleep either, because I needed to take care of her. On this fateful day, woke up in the morning, called the kids, we prayed. I would encourage the kids to pray and be hopeful and trust God and believe. You know, every time we pray, let's believe in miracles, guys. You know, God is a faithful God. He's not going to let us down, and you know, all those things. Up until I needed to go drop them off at school. I went and dropped them off at school, came back and stayed with mommy, and I could see that no, her situation was getting worse. We then agreed, because of load shedding was not making things easier for us. So we decided with
No.
we will need to go to a hospice. But maybe before I get to the hospice, because her situation was deteriorating, 2 hospitals ended up chasing us away, saying, guys, there is nothing we can do for you anymore. But they would do it very diplomatically, very, very diplomatically, just ignore you, give you painkillers, and you know, and that was hard. You would fight and fight and fight. I mean, up to a point where it dawned on me, oh, no, it's time. It is time. I remember putting it on a wheelchair, taking it to my car, lifting it, putting it back into the car, and driving home to say, Mommy, it's just you and me now. It's just you and me now. And then she says, Daddy, no, it's okay. I'm cool with it. I'm gonna ask you to just watch over Untando and the kids like a hawk, please. I know you to be a very responsible father. Please look after the kids. Continue to be the loving father that you are. I am going to go, but I've made peace with it. I can't bear the pain anymore. It's okay. One of the most painful things she said to me about 4 or 5 days before she passed, she says to me, but Didi, man, can you fight? I can't take the pain anymore. I am tired. I need to go. And I don't know what God is waiting for. Can you find someone to just switch the machines off? And I said, Mommy, I can't do that. I know you are in pain. But I can't do that. But my Daddy, I have to go. I am done with this body. You know, it was hard. It was hard, and obviously having to try to feed her when she could no longer eat, trying to bath her when she was probably 40 kgs, someone who used to be 65, 70 kg, was painful. Was painful, and I needed to be strong. I needed to talk to her. I needed to give her massages. I needed to make her feel comfortable, just to make her feel comfortable the best way that I could. We then agreed we'll take her to a hospice. We took her to hospice. We got there. They put her into her room, and then they called me aside to say, Mr. Mkhize, your lady's condition is quite bad. You have less than 24 hours. So whatever you need to say, whatever you need to do, please say it. There's some forms that they wanted me to sign, and I just couldn't bring myself to signing those forms. And the forms, if she needs medical attention, should they continue, call a doctor, or should they just let the natural progression of a transition take course? I couldn't sign that form. I couldn't sign that form. So I said, guys, I don't care what you do, what you say, I am not going to sign that form. I don't care what you do. So we sat at the hospice. Every half an hour, they would come and check up on her and make sure she's comfortable. I then sent for the kids. It was on a Monday. I sent for the kids. After school, they brought the kids to her, and the kids could see, no, mommy is bad. She asked to take some photos with them. Took some photos. She asked me to take some videos as well. And then around about 6, I asked the kids to go home. Some of her friends were there, and some of the relatives were there, but round about 6:30, they then left. I said, no, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to sit here with you, mommy. And then we sat and had our chat. I remember there was a point where she could no longer speak. And I decided to record without showing her face. The camera was just facing me, so that I could replay it and try and understand what she was trying to say. Up to a point where, in my arms, she took her last breath, and I could see Oguti, she is no longer responding. I tried to open her eyes. Nothing. I called the nurse. They checked and they said, no, Mr. Mkhize, she's gone. I said, okay, please give me 10 minutes with her. I stayed with her. I spoke to her because I believed her spirit was still in the room. I spoke to her, said my prayers. After that, I said, okay, guys, go ahead. They came, wrapped her up. Once they finished wrapping her up, they said, if you want to stay with her, please stay with her whilst we wait for the undertaker. I sat with her, quite comfortably. I could feel the temperature, her body temperature dropping. But it was part of the journey. Now, Mommy was a very organized person. She was a very, very organized person. She had planned everything to the T and had hoped that Capital Legacy would make things even easier for her in terms of managing her estate and making sure that all the beneficiaries, and Tando being the main beneficiary, does get what is due to him. I think about 2 or 3 days later, the Legacy Capital came to the house and they explained everything. My head was still spinning, and at the time we were still planning the funeral. But we exchanged contact details. I then said to them, look, I will liaise with them after the funeral. They then explained the process to me, to say everything is going to be frozen and they will take over everything, her accounts, her estate, and try and wind down her estate, whatever. I don't know whether it's winding down or putting it together, I don't know. But basically manage her estate. I then said, okay, that's fine. Just please keep me up to date with the process, so that if there is any input required from my side, I can give that input. Or if there's any information that you need from my end, I can give you guys the information that you need. Mommy had, obviously she did have her will, But over and above the will, there are notes that she left, detailing everything which this needs to happen. Okay, there are some documents that are here, there are some files, some of the information is in my computer, and so on and so on. Then my journey with Capital Legacy took a turn, an unpleasant turn, when I realized that they were taking way, way, way too long to revert to me. When I say way too long, there was a time where I think 2-3 months went past, and we had not heard anything from them. And I thought with mhlawumbe the legal processes of maybe getting officially appointed as the executors of the estate, it's a process. I said, okay, no, that's fine. But I wished that they had kept us up to date in regards to that. And then I then said, look, I need to understand what's happening. It's beginning of the year. I need to make sure that Ntando's lifestyle is not affected by his mother's absence.
Yeah.
Okay. As a father, obviously, I can do as much as I can, but I need to make sure Oguti, the trust is set up, and the trust start actively playing the role of meeting some of the needs. I needed to understand what was going to happen to the house, which was left for Ntando. I needed to understand in terms of the rest of the estate, how it was divided. There were 4 other beneficiaries, but Ntando was the main beneficiary. So for me, what I expected from Capital Legacy was for them to explain to me the process in detail, and not just me and the rest of the other beneficiaries, because my role was being Ntando's guardian. Ntando is a minor, but that did not happen, unfortunately. Up until I started to write some emails, and the response were very cold, to a point where I realized that what these guys are interested in is what they will make out of this transaction, not necessarily taking care of or more than taking care of the beneficiaries. And for me, that disturbed me, because you have a 16-year-old who has got needs. Of course, as a father, I am there. What then happened? I remember calling one of the guys at Legacy Capital, and I was beginning to be a bit, aggressive out of frustration. This guy says to me, Mr. Mkhize, you are now overstepping the line. You are now overstepping the line. Please stay back, because I was asking questions. I was asking questions about how far the estate was, how far the setting up of Ntando's trust was. Said, no, look, we are dealing with this, stay back. And I'm talking, it probably was about 8 months down the line, if not longer. They were saying, you are overstepping the line, stay there, we will call you, we will give you an update once we've got something to share with you. Unfortunately, they probably thought they were dealing with someone who's uninformed or illiterate. I then decided to consult a few of my friends who are in the legal profession, and a cousin of mine who used to be with ABSA, who also deals with Ama estates, to say, man, help me understand, how does this thing work? But where I really got pissed was when I realized Legacy Capital, what they were interested in
was to make sure that the trust has money.
Yeah.
That anything and everything has to be thrown into the trust so that the trust can have money. Even if it means selling the car that Umami left Fontando, selling the house that is worth probably over 5-6 bars that Umami left Fontando, just so that the trust could have the money.
Because they are the trustees of the trust, right? They
Yeah.
have full control.
Yeah.
They've even read the contracts. They
Yes.
can do whatever with that money in that
They
trust.
can do whatever with that money. They can do whatever with that money. They will take their 3.5% and then do whatever that they wish with that money. I then said, no, there's no ways that that will be sold just because you want money in the trust. What then happens when the money is in the trust? You'll just have full control over the money, and then continue with this very dissatisfactory treatment that you've been giving us. I then asked Oguti, okay, my other question was, Oguti, look, given how organized Mami was, AMA bonds, if you have a bond, it would have an insurance cover such that when you pass, the insurance kicks in and it settles, whatever was outstanding. Fortunately, the car was paid up. The bond, there was a few bars that were still outstanding. And then the other insurances from other institutions, which they insisted, including her annuity fund. They insisted initially that it be thrown into the trust. Unfortunately for them, it was with ABSA. And I contacted ABSA directly. And they said, Mr. Mkhize, that is not how it works. We can either pay it directly to the beneficiary, and if the beneficiary is a minor and you are there as the guardian, and we've got proof that you've been in your son's life for the past 16 years, we would rather pay the money to you, or we can set up a trust such that when Tando turns 18, the money will be paid directly into his account. ABSA had to write a letter to Capital Legacy to say, we are not going to pay the money into this Capital Legacy Trust because we do not believe it is in the best interest of the beneficiary. We are going to handle this thing our way in a manner that will benefit the beneficiary, the minor. And that is what ABSA did. So I was happy because ABSA acted in the best interest of the beneficiary, in this case in Tando. And they did not throw the money into this pit, Capital Legacy. There were two other insurances that that needed to pay. I remember receiving an email from, because what I did, I then undertook to contact these other insurances directly, because I could see Oguti Capital Legacy, the only thing they were interested in was to have everything possible thrown into the trust account, including selling the house.
And then where will he live if they sell the house?
Where will he live if they sell the house? Including selling the house. Including selling the house.
And they state, actually, I've seen one of the contracts, they state in there that they have the right to sell all the properties and everything. They state it. And people don't read that part.
Yeah. So I remember saying to them, Mugutiazi, if Mami were to wake up and see what you guys are doing, she would strangle all of you dead.
Sure.
Because you're not doing what she had hoped you would do in the best interest of her son. So it's still now. This is what they say. I had a telephone call with them about 3 weeks ago. still on the tip of wanting to throw everything in the trust. And they were saying the car, for instance, the car needs to be in the. Unfortunately, I had a car accident, a couple of months ago, and the only car that was available was Mommy's car. And then I contacted them to say, look, guys, I've had a car accident. My car was written off. Here are the pictures. Here's the report and everything. I need to use the car that Mommy left for Ndando so that I can be able to take Ndando to school. Initially, they agreed for the first week. A week later, they called to say they need the car back. They need to evaluate the car so that they can sell the car. Now, when I spoke to them about 3 weeks ago, I do have a recording of the meeting, the Zoom meeting that I had with them. They then. And I was very careful with in the meeting that I had with them. I needed to fully understand what they are all about. They wanted to sell the car. I then said, no, look, if Koguti, there is because what Mommy did with the car was that she subdivided the car amongst 4 guys. So Ntando owns 50% share, and then the other guys own the other 50%. I then said, I can settle the other guys 50%, and we had actually agreed with the other guys who are Mommy's 2 nephews and her youngest brother. They had agreed to it, to say, no, look, Uncle, we're happy with it. We're happy with it. But Capital Legacy was insisting that we throw the car back into the trust, because they want to sell the car. They then said to me, look, unless Mr. Mkhize, you buy the car from the trust.
Wow.
Buy the car from the trust, meaning that Untando, the car that he owns 50% of, he needs to buy from the trust. They also, okay, the other thing that I questioned was that at the time of Mommy's passing, one of her accounts had about 1.5, 1.8 M. I know that because she would ask me to do some of her transactions. I knew that. I knew that. As things stand right now, they are saying no. There was only $500,000 in that account. If Koguti, you feel that there was more, give us proof. But no, give us proof. But as far as we know, there was only $500,000. And Nakona, they disclosed that $500,000 months later. For the longest time, they were saying, no, there's no money, there's no money. Okay, so unfortunately for them, their statements, whether those are on email or they are in Mommy's phone now, which will prove them wrong. Which will prove them wrong. But they are waiting for me to come to them with proof that there was so much money in Mommy's account at the time of her passing. Such that if I am unable to provide that proof, they will easily deny everything. Now, my cousin advised me to ask for a document. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's basically a document which is a summary of everything that Mommy owned that needs to form part of the estate. I have requested for that document from Capital Legacy as the executors of the estate. Up till today, I have not received that. At the last meeting that I had with them 3 weeks ago, I requested for that document, and till today, I still have not received anything. So it's very unpleasant. Okay, and then they were saying, I think the house owes about 2 million.
Yeah.
And then they were saying, Mr. Mkhize, can you pay for this 2 million? I said, what we need to do, what I'm comfortable doing is to do this through ABSA, who are the bond holders.
Yeah.
to say, Absa, how much is in arrears? Let me settle what is in arrears, and then I will pay the required monthly installments over however a period.
But what happened to the bond insurance?
The bond insurance, nobody's saying anything about the bond insurance. I'm still pursuing that to find out what happened to the bond insurance.
Yeah.
So what they said in the meeting was that, okay, I said, look, I can pay half or something. And they said, but can't you settle all of it?
Why? Because where are you going to get the money?
Look, for them, what their interest is to have money that they can have full control over.
Sure.
At any expense, at any cost. They want to have money that they can have control over. They don't care what happens to Ntando. They do not care what happens to Ntando. As long as they get their money. That is the impression that I got.
Yeah.
That is the impression that I got. So I decided to be very cool-headed about it. And just to make sure that I act within the parameters of the law and get as much legal support and advice as possible to deal with this thing the right way. Because Kwamina, I may have, acted out of anger or frustration. But I said to myself, no, look, we will deal with this thing the right way, which is where I am right now. To say whatever that needs to be done to make sure Uguti Legacy Capital does not get their hands on what is supposed to go to Ntando directly. And Uguti Legacy Capital does not sell the assets that Umami left for Ntando. And Noguti Legacy Capital, they don't bully us into submission for their own gains, for their own pockets.
Yeah, so since the last time we spoke, because I think about 3 weeks ago, any feedback from them?
No, there hasn't been any feedback.
Nothing since then?
Nothing at all. So it has given me time to investigate certain things properly and to make sure that I've got my ducks in the row and to make sure that whatever they try and throw at me, I am ready. Just so that I can preserve and protect what Umami left for Ntando.
Yes. So did you try to check the statements of Absa in terms of was the insurance part of the
when I spoke to Absa, when I spoke to this lady at Absa, I think her name is Matapelo, if I'm not mistaken. She then said, no, Mr. Mkhize, anything that needs to be done, it has to be done through Capital Legacy. I then said, okay, let's all get around the table because I need to get some information so that based on the status quo, I can be able to make informed decisions to protect what Mami left for Ntando. I'm still waiting. Absa has not given me anything either.
Sure. And you don't have the bank statements like previously?
No, I don't have that. Except for the statements that the bank would send the account holder, but that are in Mami's archives.
Yeah, I think Irene, would you like to join? And because Irene is a lawyer, is an attorney, so I think she can just come in and then she can just see. Okay, I think she's requested. Yeah. Sis Irene.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I hope my kids are not going to disturb me because my helper is not around.
You can ask anything and then advise. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Mkhize. How are you? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, Mr. Mkhize, how are you?
I'm good, Sis Irene. How are you?
I'm good. I heard about the issue of the statements, ne? So
Yes.
what I would advise you to do, because if you are not an executor, you will not be given any information relating to the deceased estate. So APSA is correct to say everything must be done via them because they are the ones who have been appointed there as executors of the estate. But
Right.
what you can do is that you can make an application at court to be given access to the statement. If you can go to court and show good cause that this is the situation, this is how much money you saw in the account maybe
Yes.
prior to the deceased demise, and then now you are being told that it's only 500,000 that is left and there is no accountability, right? Because if they're telling, remember, being an executor doesn't make you more important than the beneficiaries. You understand?
Right.
Everything that they do, they have to account to their beneficiaries. It's not like now they are they are more important than the beneficiaries. If you are requesting a bank statement, they're supposed to give you. There's supposed to be that transparency. You understand? But if they're
Right.
not allowing you, you can obtain a court order, which I advise them, so that you can be able, that allows you to get access to information that you need, because that way you'll be able to keep a lookout on them. You understand?
Beautiful.
So, and then also the issue of the house, then that will also allow you to get the statements from APSA to check if there was a life insurance that would have paid up the bond. Ne? And
Okay.
then in the meantime, for Ntando, you can submit a claim for maintenance, right? In the meantime, you are waiting for the winding up of the estate to be completed, right? Because Ntando must eat. He's going to school, and there are, expenses that are relating to him, which were covered for by the mother. You understand? So I would advise you in the meantime, so that you don't struggle to keep up with maintaining Ntando, you can put up a claim for maintenance. A claim for maintenance will also help because the money that is there,
Against who? Sorry, who do you claim against?
you claim against the estate. Remember, the estate doesn't belong to them. The
So
estate,
you take Capital Legacy to court.
no, it's not like you go to court. I get they are the executors. You submit a claim. You just make the last time I did it, it's an informal one. But if they don't approve it, you can go to court. Maybe just write them a letter, ne? And then attach the proof of expenses in terms of school, clothes, like everything that you pay in terms of expenses that have to do with Ntando, ne? Do it as a letter for now, and then attach the proof of expenses, and then send it to them, and then just state in the letter that how much you want as maintenance for Ntando in the meantime, because Ntando has to eat. His stomach is not waiting for the winding up to be finalized. You understand? The school fees have to be paid, and they know that. They know that this child needs to eat. You understand? So in the meantime, submit a claim for maintenance, and then claim for whatever amount that you think is reasonable for you to take care of Ntando, right? And then that at least will give you a little bit of relief in terms of having to look after him alone. And then on the issue of the car, on the issue of them being the trustees, because now probably there's going to create a trust, and then they are going to be the trustees probably by virtue of the will. They were nominated to be the trustees. A trustee of a trust can be removed through a court order if they are not acting in the best interest of the trust, right? So the beneficiaries collectively, I don't know how many beneficiaries did Mami nominate to benefit from the trust. Do you know?
There are 4.
Okay, so it's Ntando. You said Ntando, Mami's younger brother.
It's Ntando, his 2 cousins, Mami's youngest brother, and Mami's cousin.
Okay, so there are 4.
There are 4, yeah.
4 beneficiaries. Yes.
Yeah.
So start with the court order to obtain the bank statements, because if there's any misappropriation of funds, you will be able to pick it up from the bank statements. And the bank statements will help you if you eventually want to make an application to remove the trustees, right? So that you can be able to appoint maybe, but that application will have to be made by the beneficiaries, but obviously you'll be there assisting for the sake of Ntando, right? So do whatever that you need to do. Collect as much evidence that you can that shows the misappropriation and how they are not conducting things the way they're supposed to. And then after you do that, after everything, now the trust is set up, and then the trustees are nominated. Then you can make an application to court to remove them. There's a chance for you to get hold of the estate, right? But it will take long because there's gonna be a couple of applications and court orders that you'll have to obtain in between. But it's doable. My advice to you is don't leave these people to be administering the estate, or no, administering the estate, you won't be able to remove them because they were appointed by virtue of a will. But as trustees, they will definitely misappropriate the funds. So you can remove them by virtue of a court order. So you can maybe try to get someone who can assist you with that. But in the meantime, get a court order to give you access to Mommy's bank account so that you can obtain the statements.
Okay, beautiful.
Aren't you based in Joburg, Sister Irene?
Sorry?
Aren't you based in Joburg?
No, I'm based in Pretoria.
Oh, in Pretoria. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe, yeah, if you
I
can
will
maybe
share my
on the
contacts
side.
with you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
on the
please,
DM.
please. Yes,
you
please.
can, you can
All right.
then, yeah, advise further.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Irene. I think what you've said is very, very helpful. Very, very, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, then, guys, I think, yeah, just wanted to highlight that part. There's nothing much to talk about today. It was just to share Mr. Mkhize's story and so that others can listen. Because remember, when you are a client with Capital Legacy, everything is good while you're still alive. It's only when you're dead and your beneficiaries are the ones that are going to suffer. So mine was to just highlight actually what happens now when the clients are no longer alive and the people that are supposed to benefit, what are they going through? So yeah, please just consult further, look at your options. That my wish is just to highlight and bring things to light so that we can do further research and plan better. So I want to thank you so much, Mr. Mkhize, for your time, for sharing your story, and I'm sure it has helped so many. You have no idea how many people that story has helped by just listening. Very touching. I mean, I was not prepared. I mean, I was never ready. But yeah, I thank you so much for you being such a good and present father. Ntando is so lucky. Is so lucky to have you. I don't know. Maybe is there anyone, I'll allow two people to just come in and just give some words of encouragement to Mr. Mkhize. If anyone wants to say
Maybe
something.
before someone comes in, I just further want to
Continue.
my sincere gratitude to Sis Irene. I think the clarity of her statements and the clarity of her mind in terms of what one needs to do to resolve some of these issues. I really appreciate this, and thank you for the platform, man. Let's this experience has taught me the importance of loving unconditionally. Loving someone when they're still alive and also loving someone when they're dead, by ensuring that their wishes are carried through, which is where I am now, which is what I'm trying to do. And you are bound to get some criticism, to get some oppositions, and very, very unkind treatment from very close people, unfortunately, sometimes. But for me, I vowed, Ogut, I will carry Mommy's wishes to the T. She says to me, probably I think about 15 minutes before she passed, she says, please watch over Ntando like a hawk, Daddy. So this is exactly what I'm doing, watching over my son like a hawk.
Yeah, anyway, if someone wants to say something, you can free to join. You can request, but otherwise, yeah, I think this is
I see a couple of questions, right? On the comment sections, on the comment section. Someone was asking about the executor, guys, name. Guys, you can remove an executor, you can remove a trustee, right? But you'll have to obtain a court order for you to be able to achieve that, and you have to show good cause why that person must be removed. Obviously, good cause that needs to be shown. Number one, obviously, top priority will be misappropriation of funds or fraud, those kind of things. So that's why I advise Mr. Mkhize that whatever it is that he can get his hands on that can be able to prove that these people are not doing their job honestly, and they're misappropriating funds, and they're not acting in the best interest of their beneficiaries. Whatever that he can get his hands on, he must grab it, because he will need that if he needs to take them on at court for them to be removed. But it's like they can be removed, but you'll have to show good cause why someone is to be removed, especially if they were appointed by the deceased in a will. But yeah, it's not like it's a closed door that you cannot open.
Yeah.
yeah. Before Nomsa comes in, I will, for those who missed the entire live, I will upload it tonight on my YouTube channel, so you can just follow me on my YouTube. It's Banzim Kasa, and then I'll upload the full unedited live on my account, because now I can't play the whole thing here. So, Sis Nomsa, do you wanna come in?
Sanibonani, guys. Mr. Mkhize. Tabazela. May God give you strength, sir. May you continue to hold on for those kids. Don't lose hope. Right now, I would say to you, gather as much information as you can. Do your own research as well, so that you can take these people on, Please, Buti, do not, whether you believe in Amadlozi, whether you believed in God, whatever, never forget to pray. Never forget to pray, so that God can give you strength to continue to fight. May God train your hands for this war, because this is a war. May He give you, I don't know what kind of wisdom, because you need it right now. Be calm, Butwam, be calm. Take it easy. Just relax and do whatever you can in your strength not to disappoint Omami. 15 minutes in your story when you were telling it, I was already sobbing, because I could feel the pain and what you went through. Mommy loved her kids. Mommy loved her kids, and therefore I believe that you can never disappoint her. Though she's no more, but please fight, give it all your strength. Give it anything. I don't know what it is, but give it all. Give it all. And thank you again, Sis Irene. I was always replying to your comments down. Thank you for the advice. I hope you can also be the part of, this journey, just to give advice where you can, ma'am. Thank you, Black Child. We appreciate this. I get so happy and excited when I see Black people helping each other, It is what we need. Banzi, thank you, Putwam. Thank you, kakhulu nakuwe. I can never leave you behind. Enkosi kakhulu usivule amehlo bhuti in so many things. Some of the things besingazazi. Usivule amehlo mntana sekhaya. I don't want to lie to you. Uthi xa kusikelele nawe bhuti. Akwenzele okuhle kodwa. Thank you bhuti wami, unga-give up, Siphumelele, unga-give up for Ntando and them kids, please bhuti. Enkosi kakhulu. May you be
Thanks so
strong,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir.
For those words as well and support. Yes, come in, Posh.
Hi, Ninjani.
Siphilile Posh.
I'm good. Yeah, with them kids, your story is so touching. So, in this state, we learned a lot in what you and Banzi was telling us. I'm always following him, checking the things that he says about this policy because my mom has one. So, I kept on informing my mom with this kind of thing. I wanted the policy to see the copy, only to find out on point 11, they are the executors, they are the trustees of my mother's policy. I kept on calling. Even today, I'm still calling for them to cancel the policy. I haven't got anything. So I think we keep on learning this kind of things every day because our parents does this thinking they are helping us. But at the end, this is what we go through without them knowing that they are not helping but selling their things to people. So I want to thank you, Banzi. We learned a lot. We learn every day. I follow you every day. I show my mom your videos that this is the problem that you got us in, my friend. Trust me. But anyway, I keep calling every day. They are selling. They will call again. I call every day. They will call again. They are not calling.
And you try canceling the policy. I mean, the reversing the debit orders.
It's through my mother's PESAL. So for me to cancel it, my mom has to go to the head office and cancel it through the department.
Posh, how are you?
Hi, Irene. I'm good, thanks.
How
And
are you?
yourself?
I'm good. Yeah, I just want to try and assist you with your situation.
Okay.
You know, with things like this, it's better for you to do things by hand, ne? Write them a letter and go and hand deliver it at their head offices and insist that whoever that receives it signs there that it was received by so, and then put the date that it was received, and then put a stamp if there's a stamp, ne? And then you know, in terms of a will can easily be repudiated. Repudiated by making another will, right? I don't know if maybe the policy that your mom has with them forces her to have a will with them, but a will is yours. You can decide to change it. You can decide to make another will on top of another, and immediately when you make another will, that one is no longer valid and effective, right? So in the meantime, your mom is waiting for them to cancel this thing, just to be on the safe side. She can make another will, because if anything happens to her now, that will be the one that is standing, and they'll be the executors, and they will take over the estate, ne? So in the meantime, well, because Akiri will never know what is going to happen to your mom and when, just to safeguard yourselves, ne? Your mom can make another will. Look, you can have 100 wills, but what you know is that the most recent will that you do will invalidate all the previous wills. That is why when we're drafting a will, the first clause on a will is we mentioned that you are repudiating all the other wills that you have, meaning that the one that becomes valid is this recent one. Right? So just to safeguard yourself, your mom can make another will that is going to be suitable and cover yourself and herself. You understand? Meanwhile, you are still in this process of cancelling. But to cancel, one of things like cancellations, you cannot do it telephonically. It's better to just write a letter and then hand deliver it. You know why you hand deliver it? Because even if they don't eventually effect the cancellation, at least you have proof of your request. Because if you have you constantly call them, you cannot prove to anyone that yes, you did request the policy to be cancelled. You understand? So maybe your mom can consider making another will on the side, and then also while you're trying to assist her to cancel the policy.
Okay, I
And then
did write an email, and then I saw this other post, Yaga Puti Panzi, saying that a person can write an affidavit stating that maybe I'm doing this will, I'm stating this and this and this. So will it be valid for me to do that affidavit at the police station stating everything that my mom wants to do, maybe?
She can just make another will. In the
yeah, I was
interim,
saying,
just tell her
let
to
me,
make another will.
sorry, Irene. Let me just clarify
Yes.
so that you can add on that. I was saying that there is a will on legal aid where it's there's a like it guides how it should go because most of the people don't know how to draft a will. So there is that guided will there, and I was saying that in order for it to be valid, you have to have those witnesses, and then you can, on top of it, get a stamp from the police station so that it can be the last and final will, so that nothing can be said. So also, I just wanted to touch on that and the process of because the mom can appoint her as the executor, right? So if you can
In
just
her
come there
appoint anyone.
in that will, in the new will
Yeah,
that
the
she
one
will
that she will make,
create.
the new one.
Yes.
Yes.
Which will then cancel Orlando Capital Legacy from
Every
claiming
other will
anything.
that she had before
Yeah,
that will no longer be valid. The most
exactly.
recent one will be the one that will be recognized if something happens to her.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All
Oh,
right.
thank
Any
you
other?
so much. I will surely advise her to do that. So I want maybe I hear you that you are saying the legal aid guidance. So where will I do the will that I'll be having?
Download it. It's on the website. It's downloadable.
Okay,
It's a
thank you so
guide. But
much.
you
I'll
can,
make it
Irene
happen.
is here. Irene is here. You can DM her. She'll be able to even
Yeah,
assist
you
you
can DM me because you
processing.
know why? There are certain requirements that needs to be complied with for a will to be valid. There are specific places where signatures must be. There are specific people that must sign. There's a whole lot of admin, and if you don't adhere to that, at the end of the day, that document becomes just a document and not a valid will. So it's very important that you make sure that you comply with all those requirements that needs to be complied with for a will to be valid. Otherwise, it becomes just a document. So you can DM me, and then I will send you my contact. Then you can call me. Then I will take you through it.
All
Okay,
right, then
thank you
let's
so much.
take.
Thank you, Panzi. Let
Thank
me
you.
go out and give
All
people
right.
a chance now.
All right, then. Let me give one
Thank you
more
so much.
person, and then we will going to close. You can come in, and then I'll give Ms. Mkhize to have the last say, and then we'll end the live. Yes, you can speak.
Good evening.
Hello, sister.
Hi, Amna guys. I just want to share my story on the application of removing the executor or the trustee. So what happened to me? The baby daddy passed on in 2021, and he had 7 kids. But in his will, he appointed someone as an executor, but that person after the funeral did not do any arrangement to make sure that the kids are getting what is due to them. So with Mr. Mkhize, what we advised was like, since our kids were still young, we need to sign it's called, Miss Irene will assist me, it's the power of what, ne? So that person can go and apply for a apply for a removal of the executor. So Mr. Mkhize needs to get that power of something unless
You mean the
all
power?
the four beneficiaries are older than, then they can nominate him as the executor, and then after that ke ngoku, that's where he'll be able, once he's granted the application of the executor, then that's where he will have access in all the details of the deceased.
No, can I just assist? Remember, Mr. Mkhize is the legal guardian, is the guardian of Ntando, ne? So whatever that he's doing it in his representative capacity as the guardian of Ntando. So this application that I'm advising him to do, it will have 4 applicants, right? Or yeah, 4 applicants. It will be him in his representative capacity as the guardian of Ntando. I don't know how old are these other ones, whether they are also minors or whether they are adults. Yeah, those that are adults, they will be acting in their personal capacity in the application, and then he'll be acting in his representative capacity as the legal guardian of Ntando, because Ntando is less than 18 years. He cannot act in his personal capacity, so he doesn't actually need to be by virtue of Ntando being a minor and by virtue of him being Ntando's legal guardian. He has the legal capacity to act on his behalf. You understand? So that application will have 4 applicants, the 3 others, and then him. And then in the affidavit, when you're doing the founding affidavit, you mention Horwena, you are appearing as what on behalf of who. So he'll be appearing as the legal guardian of a minor.
Oh, okay. Okay. But I hope, Mr. Mkhize, you still have the same energy to fight, because with us we ended up giving up, because we went to High Court, went to the Master of the High Court in Joburg, but because the guy, which is the baby daddy, was a big person, so there were powerful people that were involved in his estate. So even our life now was sorry guys. Even our life now was in danger, to a point where we're like, you know what, we just need to let it go and focus on investing on our kids.
And that's the thing, that's the painful part. You are still grieving, and now you have to gather all energy to fight. How can you go through? I mean, I really applaud Mr. Mkhize's strength, because imagine having to grieve and then have to to go through battle in this whole process. I mean, I understand.
You know what, Banza? You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna make some research on any case law that I can find.
Please,
Yes, that will be very, very helpful.
please. Sure.
Please, Sis Irene, because if you go to the Master of High Court not knowing anyone, with us, even if like they are coming along, the person will just disappear, no longer wants to assist. And then once you mention that you are here for the estate of what, and then people are closing doors. Now I have another appointment. But so it was draining, and we are single parents, and financially, all of us were struggling. Imagine going to Joburg, coming from Eastern Cape, and then you're not even getting the help that you want to get, and then you have to come back. So it was just a lot for us.
Yeah. No. Thank you guys for joining the live. It's not those lives as lasted the whole night, so we've come to the end. Mr. Mkhize, do you want to have anything to say?
Yes, guys, if you have someone special in your life, whether it's a friend, it's a brother, it's a sister, it's a mother. In my case, it was my baby mama, whom I treasured up until the very last day. I had known her for 25 years. Continue to give them whatever support that they need, especially in times of need. I lost a lot of friends, close friends, including my then girlfriend. You know,
Can you imagine? There's only so much.
she exited eventually, and so if unomuntu that who needs your support, your care, your love in times of need, especially when they're faced with a terminal illness, be there for them. It is a decision you will never regret. Now, Mami was a fighter. Mami was a lawyer by profession. Worked for various, worked in the corporate as a company secretary. So she was a fierce fighter. So I believe I carry her spirit to fight on for Ntando's benefit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I mean, I cannot. I think what breaks my heart more is that, the fact that Nando is so lucky to have you, but what about those single mothers who don't have someone like you to count on? What happens to them? What happens to their children? So really, guys, I really, if you're in that situation and you don't know what to do, we can talk. We've got people, we can figure things out. But what we do not want is for you to follow in the same mistakes and to follow the same system that is really killing us. And we're seeing the sufferings. Mine is to highlight and shine the suffering that we as Black people, we are being oppressed all over again. And for things that belong to us. I mean, this is our monies. This is not monies that is stolen. This is people's hard-earned monies meant for their children. But now you have these corporate greedy companies that want to steal and take everything. So we really have to stop it. We really must get proper advice. We must plan better, guys. So if you don't know, we can talk. But mine is to make sure we highlight and prevent this from happening. So I want to thank you for joining this live. If you missed it and you joined in between, you don't understand what is happening, I will upload it. Check the video on YouTube. Search my name, Banzim Kasa, on YouTube. You will find the video probably by tomorrow morning. I'll upload it tonight. Then, yeah, you can just watch the whole thing and understand why we were all in tears. So thank you so much, Mr. Mkiza. Thank you also to you, Irene, for your contributions, and then the other guests that joined in. Thank you for your kind words, Nomza, and everyone else. We'll call it a night. Tomorrow people are working, so we won't be long. So if no other questions, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Sure.